It's alright. Let's look at the notes first. Okay. Because I think we were questioning why when we were mentioning about the Vedana, the feelings, but then suddenly this order that mentioned about. Okay. If you have read this one, the last we discussed on page 79, and then also we have discussed several sutra relating to the feelings, right?
Use this.
Right.
And then
zoom in
and then we understand the feelings. Look at the note first, okay? On the notes, the note I just given out, when Abhidharmavatara Bhashya, it's from the Abhidharmavatara in Chinese for teacher, okay? And first look at the chapter 1, the last verses, okay? So the notes I just give last verses, chapter 1, the verse is called exposition of the elements, okay? And he said that there's 5 external dhatus are cognized by 2 consciousness, okay? And condition factors are eternal. The 12 internal dhatus and a part of the Dhamma dhatus are indriyas, okay? And that also means are faculties. Okay. I think I did let me see where I put it somewhere. It's all right. Now, we know that when we talk about basically means, you know what is meant by 18 elements? Anyone? What is this 18 elements? Hello? No? Okay. The 18 is it called 18 dhatu? 18 dhatu. Ayatana and 18 bases, sometimes we say. I think 18 elements. Remember what are they? Nobody? Okay. There are 6 senses. You know what is 6 senses? No, okay. I guess it's all right. We jump this first. So if you don't know what's that, we jump that first. Look at what are these? Look at this. There are 22 faculties on the page. Okay. Look at page 2. So on the page 2, maybe look at the last one first. What does indriya mean? Okay. What is the meaning of the word faculty in indriya? Look at the last on the page 2, the last paragraph, almost like before last paragraph. After the before last paragraph, just one time. Right? No. Can you see all this square here? Just last one.
Yeah, the meaning of that.
Yeah, what is the meaning? The meaning of faculty. What is the meaning of the word faculty? Okay. The root iti, so that means the Sanskrit iti, signifies the supremacy or supreme power or supreme dominant. Okay. So that which exercises the supreme power is called the faculty. Thus, in general, faculty signifies adipati. Adipati usually means like when you are in a country, the adipati will be the king. The ruler, the king, right? When you're in a company, maybe the adipati will be the head of the company. Adipati is mean the head, like in the and so. That's called. So because it is called indriya, because it's have a significant because the indriya from the root iti, so it means supremacy. Something the highest one. So that's why the faculty, that means if the word indriya, the Chinese call gen, okay, it doesn't mean the rules, but it means, anyway, it signifies just the ruler, the highest one, the one who like to conquer, or rule the country, the ruler. So Now look at the next page, say. So the five sense faculties of the sensory consciousness exercise control power. So adipatya. So with regard to the beauty of the person, with regard to the potential of the person, with regard to the production of the consciousness and of the mind and competence associated with this consciousness, with regard to its particular or common activities. Well, I'm going to talk this a bit later, but just to give you understand, so generally first understand the word indriya. Not it doesn't mean the root, but it means the ruler. Okay. Yes.
Is this related to Indra?
Yeah, you could say so. Yeah, like Indra. Yeah, the Indriya and the Indra is also So and yeah, from the same root. So now, so then there are 22 groups. Okay. You can look at the list, but we can just check on the list. We're on page 2, right? There are 22 of Indriya. Well, so the first 5 one is very simple. Then the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, sense, faculty, right? So, but then the 6th one, of course, usually the 6th ones and 7th and 8th and the 9th one, that means the mental faculty, the male sexual faculty, and the female sexual faculty, and then the vitality faculty, the jiva indriya. So, and then they are 4. So we usually divide them in one part for oscillatory. Okay. And then you have 5. That's what we're going to discuss now. The 5 ones is there are 5 feelings to do with the feelings. So the faculty of pleasure, sukha indriya, faculty of displeasure, dukkha indriya, and then faculty of joy or samanasa indriya. Okay. And then the faculty of the sorrow, sometimes it's translated dissatisfaction. And there are so many different translations. So that's why I put the original word here also, dharmanasa indriya, and then faculty of equanimity or upeksha indriya. So those are all the 5 feelings indriya. So, and then you have the rest, like 5, which is very popular whenever you do meditation, when you practice. So it has to be there all the time. You always have to check these elements there, these 5 indriyas, almost like when it is 5 kings, whenever you present. So the faculty of faith, faculty of vigor, faculty of mindfulness, concentration, and then understanding of wisdom, right? So those are 5. So there are 22, and in other words, 22 faculties, and we have 6 senses. But usually we say that 5 like physical senses, and 1 is a mental senses, right? 1 faculty sense, and then 2 are female and male, and then 1 is the life, right? It's called vitality. Right? And then, but in Pali, of course, it's different, and so we are not here to talk Pali system, but the Sarvastivada system. So they divide in such a way, but anyway, and then you have another 5 feelings, okay, and then another 5 what we call like for your practice. They all for practice anyway. So normally it's certainly when you say about meditation, so the 5 faculties that we talk about, So in other words, the faculties here, please understand, it's not. And according to Abhidharma, has to be understood as, because they call faculties because they are like a superior, okay, supreme one, and they are like so important, like a king, a ruler. So and then another rest of 3, which is later when you learn Abhidharma, it's always have to discuss. So that will be the number 20 to number 22, okay. The faculty of coming to know what is not yet known, and 21. Faculty of perfect knowledge, and then the 22 faculty of final and perfect knowledge. Okay, they're the 3 things. Okay. Now we back to this the Dhatu, the first page. So you have the 6 senses, right? The eye, the ear, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. And objects, right? Artha. What is the object? The form, right? And then the ear is the, what is that? Sound. Remember that? The nose object is the smell. I'm sure you all know this. Tongue is the taste. And then the body is the tangible. And the last one, the mind, is the, what we call dharma. Sometimes we just say factors. And then with this eye, with the form, and then you have this, I'm sure you have no eye consciousness, and so, okay? And the ear consciousness, and then you have this nose, the nose consciousness. I don't have to write all, I guess. Okay. And then you have up to the last one is the mind consciousness, or mental consciousness, we translate, sorry. Now, the thing is, when you look at this, just now the faculties, right? You know there's the eyes here, the ears here, the nose here, the tongue here, the body faculties here, right? Okay. And then actually including even the mind. Okay. That's why it said that beside the 5, there are 2 consciousness. Actually, it means the consciousness, the eyes as a ruler, as the supremacy, let's say, have the form as the object. When the eyes have the form as the object, so you have the eye consciousness. So it's according to Abhidharma. One thing you want to say that is that. So that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a 5 for what part that arises 5 consciousness. But what about is the mental, the mind? The mind actually means the mental consciousness. How many objects are there? So you count it. Okay. Tongue, consciousness, and then you have this bodily consciousness. Okay. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. In other words, so you understand that 2 ways. One way that the mental consciousness can take 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So if you take this as a faculty, the eye is a faculty. So that the first 5 senses as faculty, so you have 5 consciousness. But then if you take the mental mind as a faculty, and then in other words, the mind faculty has altogether 13 of the can take them as an object. Okay. So it just want to show you this this is even though you show the drop here for 22 faculties, but you have to include the 18 elements, because when you do meditation, you have to know there's an eye, there's an object, there's an eye consciousness, right, and so and so. But then what about the mind? So the mind actually can take anyone as an object. Okay, you get it now? So that's what it means by the 2. Okay. I think now I think we need to maybe just back to something. Okay. Actually, there's a big argument about the 22 roots, 22 sense faculty, because they say it doesn't seem like this kind of understanding 22 faculties is like being taught by the Buddha. Okay. But then it looks like very interesting in the Sanskrit version, like Abhidharmavatara. So it does put several very few lines, and they said that the Buddha say such and such. It looks like they should have this kind of text. And according to the Mahavipasa, one of the Greek texts also, only in Chinese now, what sometimes we translate Mahavibhasa as a Greek exposition, right? And the Greek exposition actually they mentioned that they are only. It did say that very clear how this text comes from. But unfortunately, I didn't look. I think if somebody scholar had looked, if they found the text, that is a big news. Because for those who study this Sarvastivada Abhidharma, they know that actually 22 roots is a big subject, as I just mentioned. Like in Abhidharma course, is the whole chapter will describe this subject. Because it's a subject cover up almost with the 22 faculty. It covers everything. Okay, so it covers everything. So in other words, when I say it covers everything, that it covers anything that relates to what we're going to study. That's why the 22 roots are, because if you look at it, it includes, say, that's why the last chapter just now want to explain that even though it looks like it doesn't cover something about it, because in meditation you have to be able to not only cover it has certainly the most sophisticated system is that you can recover the eyes have the object and you have eye consciousness until the mind has the object of the mental thinking, right? The mind has the object of mental thinking, and then you have this so-called mental consciousness and so on. And then that's why they have a system to show that even though it looks like only 22 here, but the first 5 cover the body, the physical part, but the mental part actually also can be able with the only one called a mental indriya, so mental faculty. So they also cover the rest of the 13 of the elements in the 18 elements. Okay. I think let's maybe move to because I think the rest is very difficult, I guess. I mean, not difficult in the sense, since we're not doing the things. So maybe we just look a little bit like, for example, maybe just give some example, I guess maybe we could look at the page 3. Page 3 is easier. Okay, in the page 3, they say that with regard to the 5 senses faculty of the sensory consciousness exercise controlling, controlling the power. So firstly, for example, the physical body with regard to that. So when you have the physical body, you can be, it supports you. There's the eyes. The eyes as a faculty, right? The eyes as a faculty will support, there were 4 things. First, it will support a person. The regular beauty of a person. When a person has the eyes, of course, and then you can see. And then, but however, the people looks beautiful. But if a person doesn't have the eye, have an eyes, if a person doesn't have an eyes, so it looks very ugly, basically. That's why I say that it's controlling the power with regard to the beautiful persons. And the second one, regard to the protection of the person. Well, it believed that because. Because we have the eye, so we can see the good thing or the bad thing, and then and that's how actually you support a person. Okay, and that's this is in those maybe this is how to regard as a kind of physical explanation maybe. The third way is that it's And then we must understand that they produce a consciousness. I'm sure that we know that already. The eyes, when they have an eye object of the form, then the eye consciousness will be aroused. Otherwise, we will not able to see. Okay. And the fourth one, so they should be not have. That's what the fourth says. With regard to the particular common activities, means they definitely do not share the same way like the other organs, right? So that's why it's called faculty. You understand? So and that's the reason why it's called the eyes faculty, because basically means you have the eyes, you look beautiful, but if you don't have the eyes, nobody like it. That's the beautiful reason. And the second, and the eyes, because you can a life of person, support a person. And the third one, that because you have eyes, so you have a consciousness. That's called the third reason. And the fourth, because of the eyes, and the eye definitely doesn't share anything with others, organs. Okay. So the same thing with the ear, I think, with the ear. But you might be wondering why this is important to talk about. But they do it. Because later on they have to talk about, there's no problem if you don't have the faculty of the tongue, basically the faculty of the tongue or faculty of the respiratory. But you definitely cannot lose the faculty of eyes and faculty of the eyes and faculty of the ear. Okay. We'll just say something about if you have for the faculty of the ears, normally the same way, if you have the ears, that's how it looks beautiful, and support your person. But when there's no ears, so people don't like it, find it very strange, basically. But then also the ear, because you can hear the good sound, the bad sound, that's how you can live, better life. And the same thing of and the same way, the ear produce the air consciousness because of the ears. If without the air faculty, you will not produce the air consciousness, and so on. Okay. And and then also there are some others saying that the eye, it's very important in a way. Eye and ear are the most important. Beside because if you have eye and ear, of course you have the mental, so that you don't have to discuss about. But the problem is that those two are very important, because in Buddhism, it's always said that just like the people who are wise, they have the eyes to see the people and to see the thing. So and then they can be always avoid the bad thing happen to them, right? Like if you walk in the street, so the bad thing in here, let's say if a blind person might be fall on the picture, right? But you always can avoid that. So and that's why it's a simile to say that somebody, if they live in the world, that when they become wise, so they can be away from all the bad things happening to them.
So ask the question.
Yes.
It's not so relevant, but do blind people can become monks or deaf people?
No.
Oh.
No.
So at this time, even now.
Any person, if no eyes, no ear, whatever, no anything of the sixth sense, sixth faculty, no way. And not only that, actually with this subject, when you talk about 22, because we have to talk about the male faculty and the female faculty also. If the people have double sex, no. And the people have no sex, yeah! Also no. So they either have to be a man or a woman. They cannot be trans one.
Transgender or asexual.
Yeah, and also no sex organ. No. That's according to the.
But what happens if you're a monk and you become blind or deaf while you're a monk? Yeah, but he still has to stay in the study. I know they have to be careful.
But actually, that's even it happens. The story that no. Well, this is where people get.
Well, I'm just thinking about your future. We'll take care of you. They will.
Pre-assumptions that you are good at yourself. Pre-assumptions that you are good at yourself, right?
Well, it's interesting. I just don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. They have to adjust this. No, and not that they have to make it more sound and they have to adjust this. They have to select it the right one. Okay, so I guess yeah, it's anyway. So because especially in old day, I think because they have to be independent, so you go for out for banging the food and so on. So and besides, when you don't have eyes, you have no way to learn anything. I mean, talk about old days. And if you don't have the ears, you cannot hear the Dhamma. So if you don't hear the Dhamma, there's no way at all to learn the teaching at all. So then the way they become a monk, I mean, to become a monastic member, that's it went completely. Maybe now technology changed, but then according to the rules, certainly no. And so I'm not sure the cripple. They have leg, but the cripple, I'm not sure. Cripple, I think you may be able to. Yeah. Cripple or something. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so
Would that be discrimination?
unfortunately, I don't think. I mean, sometimes people like to say this is discrimination. So what about if the people if they don't know how to do the job and you cannot hire the person? Is it discrimination?
No, in here, like if you got fired because you're old age, because you're some
No,
disability.
I mean once you join the sangha and then you become blind or what, then they are not finding you. No, that's fine. But not when you cannot be. I mean, as a lay person, when you're blind, when the person blind, they cannot join the sangha. No. Yes.
My question is, well, it's partly a comment because in order to abandon pain and sort of suffering, pleasant and unpleasant feelings, you actually have to experience them, and some of them are experienced through sight, through hearing, and even if you lose your sight later, you had sight. So you're able to, based on your mental consciousness, have processed it and be able to abandon it. So you actually need sight to see in order to abandon it. That's what I was reading.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. That's the reason why they give also. It's because you have to, in order to understand the teachings, because in our traditions, I mean, we are talking about more in the modern time it is, but certainly if you want to learn, so you have to be able to see and be able to hear.
You know those people who don't feel pain when they have that condition? So that person couldn't be a monk because part of, experiencing the pain, you have to understand it and then be free from it and choose to be free from it. But if you've never experienced it, you don't know what it is.
They may have mental pain, emotional pain.
But they also talk about physical pain.
Yeah, physically, they're very, there are those people who don't feel physically. It's very dangerous.
Are you suggesting that a person who can't experience physical pain can't experience the Dharma because they lack that challenge that would take them through?
Well, it runs along the same argument of sight and it is a part of the senses. What you feel bodily, what you feel, you need to be able to process.
Okay, so okay, so I think we have more or less get some idea what does a faculty for already, right? I mean, at least for the senses, we don't have to discuss everything because this is not. We might have to deal with it in the future because when you deal with it, something about when you do in the past. So that's certainly we have to talk about it. So I think that's the rest of the tree. The rest of the tree, I think, do we have the rest of the tree, like what is that? What are these three? I think the rest of the tree is very simple. It's the same way. So, but the thing it is only, well, basically the rest of the tree, like the smell, and then the ears, the nose, and the tongue, and generally the only difference is the object, right? The objects. So you have to base on those things to make you feel nice. So I think that's it. We need to say no because. That's about the senses. Now we need to back to the first the paragraph 79. So in order to save time. Okay, paragraph 79. Okay, so the page 79, paragraph 2.4, right? And then we were talking about they say that on account of the different faculty when we talk about the feelings. Right. So the fivefold division is established. There are five: the faculty of pleasure, and then the faculty of the displeasure, joy, sorrow, and equanimity. So the pleasant physical sensation and the pleasant mental sensation of the third meditation are named the faculty of pleasure. Being pleasure are named the faculty of pleasure. Okay. Did I read wrong? Sorry. And the faculty of pleasure, being pleasant means being beneficial. And so on and so on. Okay. Now this is what I think firstly we were confused at first. We were not sure whether this will refer to the faculty, but anyway, it's clear it refers to the faculty as I remember. It's from 22 faculty we just mentioned. Okay. But the 22 faculty actually is one of the Abhidharma system in Sarvastivada. They use this system actually in believing that with this system, you cover your mental and your physical, and even your practice part also. Because they are the main one. They are the main as a ruler. So for 22. But of course, they study more and then they have a discussion. Some say some don't have to take it seriously. Some they don't believe it. Well, if you have time, we'll talk about it. Like South America school, they say only 14. You don't need 22. So they have a disagreement with that. But now we try to discuss this. What does it mean by why straight away to talk about the samadhi, okay? the dhyana, the third samadhi, and I have this translation from the notes on the next page. Actually, look for the third page first. Okay. So anyway, I just give a look here. The Southern Vicar only upholds 14 faculties, like 6 sense faculty, 2 sexes faculty, a vitality faculty, and 5 faculty of feeling. Altogether 14. Anyway, you're not going to sit for examination, so don't need to worry about it. But it's just we look at this, what we call the faculties that relate to what we're going to talk about feelings. There are 5, right? So look at this Abhidharmavatara. Firstly, write this way. Disagreeable bodily sensation is a faculty of pleasure. Agreeable bodily sensation is a faculty of pleasure. Displeasure and pleasure. Sorry. In the third meditation, agreeable mental sensation is also spoken as a faculty of pleasure. Okay. And then the next one. Everywhere else, agreeable mental sensation is the faculty of joy. Disagreeable mental sensation is sorrow. Bodily or mental intermediate sensation is equanimity, because there is no conceptualized activities here. So I mean, this is very simple. Now look at the explanation in the next page. Bodily, so those are the original Sanskrit terms. Right? Refer to the sensation that relates to the body, which is associated with the 5 sensory consciousness, the visual consciousness, etc. Okay. Hello? No any question, right? Disagreeable means which hurts. That's why it's called disagreeable. That's why you have the dukkha, what we call dukkha indriya suffering. Some translations displeasure, faculty of displeasure. So the sensation relate to the five sense faculty of the sensory consciousness, and which hurts is called the faculty of displeasure. But it means actually Abhidharmakosa from here is very clear. It's not like Skandila. In this book, Abhidharmavatara directly referred to the meditation jhana. But here, he also wanted to say, when you say there were five sense faculty, so the five sense faculty, I'm sure it's very simple to say, when it disagree with the good, so you do displeasure. So of course then those are the direct translation, okay? Agreeable from Abhidharmakosa, direct translation. So refer to which comfort, beneficial, does good, And then the agreeable bodily sensation is called faculty of pleasure. Now the next one is the mental sensation is the sensation associated with the mental consciousness. Okay. Maybe let me say this way. Now the next one paragraph come exactly the same as the book we're reading. Okay. It's called Abhidharmavatara. So I don't have to read it. But then they say everywhere else that is in the stage, you look at 8A, in the stage lower than the third dhyana, in the realm of desire, in the first two meditation, the agreeable mental sensation is joy or faculty of joy. In other words, the words are what we translate. Pleasure, okay? The word pleasure can be understood as normal pleasure. But then also, when people do meditation, they are in the third jhana, so that also can be applied as a pleasure. Okay.
So can you say that faculty of joy is also dominant? Is dominant in the third jhana, faculty of joy?
No.
Sensation of joy?
There's a problem in English translation. I mean, it's not a problem in English, but it's like...
To me, it sounds more like a dominant factor rather than a faculty of joy. I don't know, it sounds so strange.
Yeah, no. It's like this. You know that when in the first jhana, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have vitaka, right? Vichara, and then you have piti, and then you have sukha, and ekagrata. So there are five factors here, right? Or five items here. That's in the first jhana, right? And then in the second jhana, you eliminate the drop. I just do this -1 and -2. Okay, drop the first two, right? So, and then you're in the third jhana, you drop, because these two drop already, and then you only drop the third one, right? And in the fourth jhana, and this is what they're going to say, and then you drop the fourth one. Okay. When people let's say in the first, now we're focused on the third jhana, right? He said that the word sukha means, well, I translate happiness. Here we translate passion. Okay. The word sukha, remember sukha. So according to what we learned last time, directly talk about jhana. I want to say according to Abhidharmakosa, and my lesson according to Mahavipasa too, actually not only jhana, but you also talk normal mundane. This is beyond mundane, but normal people experience. So in normal people experience, you have this kind of pleasure feelings as a faculty. Okay. Now he said that actually in the third jhana, so it's the pleasure feelings called sukha. Remember the word same exactly same sukha. Okay.
Number 4, number 3. That's a priti.
No, the priti is. So that's why I want to use the word. The word because some people like to translate pretty as joy, sometimes translate as glad, some people translate happiness. So I don't want to rely to this English now. It's very confusing. Okay? So that's why I say that here, at least sometimes I even get confused which word to translate what. But I just want to say, now when we say sukha, we translate as pleasure. Okay, let's just remember that. Don't forget English because this is just a term.
I'm just referring to the numbers. So during the third jhana, you're dropping the.
You drop the dirt. You drop the dirt.
What is
Drop.
You drop, right, but the third is pretty.
You drop pretty, but you have sukha then, and these two.
You still have sukha.
But you still have sukha.
Sukha kama.
Okay, alright.
Okay, it was a reverse.
Okay, maybe easy to
You
say.
still have sukha.
When somebody meditates, let me say very clearly, like when you meditate, if the nimitta appear, right? Even the nimitta might not stay very long. Say they stay long, that's easy to talk. When the nimitta appear, they stay long. And then that's what we call you are in access concentration, right? Upajjhara samadhi. So when you're in access concentration, basically, it's a big subject. These two will be over there, okay? But generally means your mind feel very nice and calm, but still you can think something about sensual pleasure things, right? So like you can think about I'm not very happy with other persons, but you could feel that your anger comes about maybe very weak, but you can feel it. It can arise, right? So in other words, in Abhidharma system, that means that you can arise even unwholesome jaitasika, the mind and concomitant, or something associated with the mind that can be arised. Even your mind is so stable. But when you're in the first jhana, these five things will be there, and they replace the other. So in other words, mean the only good thing will be there. That's why this is understood as a beautiful mind party. Okay, forget about party system now. So so here you have these five factors, and only these five factors there, no any other. So then you could check that you have vitakka and vichara, right? You know, always understand vitakka means you know you're observing the object. Vichara, you always know that when you're observing the object, that means the nimitta, the form appear, and you always like you know you're observing, and then you kind of like observing. You know you're observing. But some people like to describe that as different feelings, or some people like to describe it as like a sound. You hear the gong, and then like remember the gong is called. To hear the gong is vitakka, like remaining the gong is like vichara. Or sometimes you can seemingly like a bird, right? But when you fly, when you are flapping your wings, it's like a vitakka. And then when you are soaring, you flap, you shoo. That's why some people feel that they're flying also. Okay, so and then you have vichara. So that's it's the way that you need to check. And then when you check these two, that's the main thing. In the first jhana, you have to check the main two. But you definitely feel joy. You also somehow feel happy because it's stronger. And then you also feel focused. The ekagrata means focus, right? So then, when you have to enter the second jhana, you need to learn how to drop these two. Okay? Okay? They have so many ways to drop it. But anyway, so for sure, when you're in the second jhana, these two feelings is not there. It's dropping. So you only have the pretty, sukha, ekagrata. Okay? So when you have this kind of thing, so that's why I said -1 and -2, in order to save time. So, and you just only feel joy, because these two have removed. And then the joy, piti, I translate joy anyway, or glad, I actually translate glad. Glad become prominent. So you feel that, okay, the joy. Now, and then when you enter the third jhana, so the sukha will be prominent, and then the piti will be removed.
Elation is good for sukha. Elation,
yeah. Actually, some people translate that, yeah. And then the third one, and you will feel like happy. And then if you stay for a long time, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you might be jumping the body too, okay? Because you are happy, so happy, even though you don't know. Normally you don't have cancer, unless you are, especially a new practitioner. So that means that, now this is what they will discuss about, okay? So this is what they will discuss about. So that is a pleasure, but anything that is below than this jhana, maybe you go back and read this, I just explain here, maybe easier. Anything that below this jhana, so you have to understand this happiness here as what? As the somanasya. Translate as what do I that good what is that called? I don't know how to translate, but joy, I think anyway. And the faculty of joy. You get it now? So anything that, even though in the mundane world, we also use the faculty of the sukha, or use the sukha, okay, happiness, which is actually very similar, or equivalent, or it's very similar to the third jhana as happy also. But it looks like Skandila doesn't apply that way. I think so. I mean, this is I suspect. Skandila looks like, I mean, the teacher of the Vasubandhu and or even it looks like the teacher of Vasubandhu. It looks like he doesn't agree with that. But anyway, in communities, that's what they understand. So whenever that's the sukha, because it's straightforward say that sukha is for the third jhana. Okay, and then anything below that the sukha, the third jhana is called the samanasa. Okay, that means the joy. I don't know. I translate it as joy. Faculty of joy. All right, and so that's what he went to say. That's the main point. Okay, get it. Okay, what about and then so he said that, so even though in the third jhana, so no, I think it's, we need to jump that because I just mentioned it. You go back and read that one. So I did say that, like, when before the third jhana, you might have the joy feelings, the other feelings, like called the pretty feelings, but they also are included as a samanasa. So kind of sensation. Now, but the question actually is, did I put it here? Yeah. What does it might be imparting you? Okay. You know that when people enter the fourth jhana, in the fourth jhana, so it's only ekagrata exists, right, in the fourth jhana, because the sukha is removed. So when the sukha is removed, suddenly you enter, it's almost like, yeah, it's like upeksha. And that's why he's saying the word, there's another faculty called upeksha. Because you enter, there's a stage called upeksha. That means you complete no feelings. Okay, upeksha, and normally there's a different argument in this school, but generally believe that the upeksha feelings has only been experienced by either you have jhana, or either because you practice the force of abiding. When you practice the force of abiding, you practice the loving kindness, right? The second is compassion, and then the third one is the joy, it's meditative joy meditation, and the fourth is called equanimity. Either you experience that, or either because you are the saint. That means you practice the vipassana. That means the insight meditation. So you're up to the point that, like in the seven bojjhanga, the 7 factors of enlightenment, there's one factor of enlightenment called equanimity enlightenment. So either you're like that, otherwise you would not able to experience this upeksha. Okay, that's how the Sarvastivaka Abhidharmavatara. Okay, get it now? Okay, and but then they also, but then they will maybe discuss that. What about the people still say when you're in the fourth jhana, even though you don't feel anything, like your mind is so clear, like so clear and so, how do you say, so clear, so calm. And then even your mind is so clear and so calm, and how you, what is that word you say? But still, yes, you describe it as a happiness, right? So which word you want to use? Because there's not enough words for you to use. And that's why he say you still can use sukha to describe that kind of happiness. Okay, that's how they put this. As I say, the 22 roots. You might be asking, you might be wondering now. So why we have to talk about 22 roots? As I say, it looks like it must be one of the very important sutta in the past, because it was come from a monk. It looks like, I checked the name also because only in Chinese. So far I haven't seen any people really translate the name, how it comes from. But I just guessed, the name, actually he did say that the name is from, the word means donkey. The person maybe were born out of donkey, something to show that people are so full. And that's kind of ascetic, people who practice different religion. And then actually he has an argument with the Buddha. And because the reason he argued with the Buddha in the Buddhist thing, we don't have this even in Pali, not even in Chinese also. But it should be very popular. Because it's said that actually due to that sutta, people did talk about 22 roots, 22 faculties. So that's why these 22 faculties become very important. And it might have a great significance. As I said, imagine, Abhidharmavatara, actually one of the difficult sub-chapters to learn, okay, for people who really like, if they are beginner or you learn for the first 2 years, one of the most difficult chapters is the second chapter. The chapter is called faculty. Okay. So it's a huge, it looks like it's only 22, but it's a huge thing to talk about. And that's why they try all the way, because of these 22 roots, and the faculty is so important, they try all the way, try to cover it up, these 22 roots cover everything in Buddhism, almost like for the practice. Okay. Now, the thing is that this person called, I think it's called Ka, something like, so, named Donkey. And, and the thing is because he lived very close to the Buddha. And in other words, he could directly maybe, that shows that he could get the information much more accurate as he believed. What's the information? The information is that because he heard the Buddha once told the monk about a verse, basically the verse saying that someone have to be able to discern your faculty, and then someone have to be able to discern what is the good and what is the bad, and through your eyes and through your ears, because that's how we talk about eyes and ears also, and through your eyes and through your ears you must be able to discern what they are. And then he was really not happy about that, because he think that is wrong. And he told his students, the student seems like it's called, Janunossi. Anyway, the student called Janunossi, I guess. So the same name, I don't know whether it's the same person, the same name as last week we talked about when we read his feelings. We say that his father become a dog, right? Okay. So what is that? So anyway, so what happened is that he came to talk to the Buddha, and he said that the Buddha, even though people say he's very wise, but he still didn't have the very deep understanding of the Dharma, the teachings, or in the fact. So, because he said that you have to be discerned, the good and bad, through your eyes on your nose, and eyes and the ears. And he said, actually, the good practitioner would not hear what is the good and what is the bad of the eyes and the ear. But actually, that same statement gives me a very interesting thing to look at. Like the Zen Buddhism nowadays, they talk, you don't hear. I don't know what does it mean by you don't hear. If that's really like that same way, certainly it looks like he held the concept like what this text say. And then the Buddha started to have a long passage to discuss, basically to discuss no. So of course, and then a monk, so-called a monk, should be able to discern there's a good and there's a bad from the eyes and from the ears. Okay. You get it now? And they believe that actually the very advanced practitioner would not know what is a good and bad. Okay? Will not know mean maybe very advanced that you will not discern, will not be analyzed, or will not be able to know that there's a good smell, or say that to say about eyes and then you see the good thing or the bad thing, or you hear the good thing and bad thing.
Unpleasant.
Huh?
Not unpleasant or unpleasant.
Yeah.
You reach that stage.
No, that's why. That's a good question. Not in this school, okay? That's why. This is a big subject. That's why.
You gave us a handout, I read it. I did my homework.
Okay.
It's detaching from that.
No, that's true, but that's why it's said that, the difference between, when you look at further, I think it's here. That's why it's said that further, it's said, when you when you are in the equanimity, okay, so you do not have the recalibrate yet. So it means you will not have been able to discern. The problem in the term.
Is it the translation? Because
That's
to
a
me,
problem.
the idea of discerning, you should be able to discern good from bad after you've reached a certain level of understanding, right? Because are what I was reading. But the word is not a good one, because for me, discern is that you're able to tell the difference.
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
But you're saying discern, but discern means that he's not able to discern good and bad.
No, that's what the heretic thinks. That should be the one. But that's why they have two opinions. The Buddha thinks that you should be able to discern good and bad.
The Buddha says.
Yeah.
But the heretics is no.
No.
I go with the Buddha. It's easier.
But we do ask a good question is that what about when you are in equanimity, right? So, and that's why it's in this system, they say when you're in equanimity, you don't have, certainly you don't have a pleasure feelings and displeasure feelings, right? But you still, actually it's a time you're able to be discern or something like
To acknowledge it, because you're able to know it, but you don't have a reaction to
Yeah,
it.
you don't have the reaction. They have a word called vikarapata. So that means you will not be disturbed by this kind of like the your maybe what you say, the knowledge. So it's a different term.
It's in the sutta. You're supposed to be detached from anything. Pleasant, unpleasant, neither or pleasant, unpleasant feelings.
Yes.
It's totally detached.
Yeah, in the sutta. Yeah.
That's how.
But then you have to also explain. There's a problem with Abhidharma. Sometimes they have to still have to explain the equanimity here. What does it mean? Right. So and then that's why you say it's. So I think did I put it here? Because there's so many.
The ABC, there's everything in it. There's HBDF, Maji sensation, which neither hurts, neither displeasure, neither sensation. Because sukha, this is called sensation of any immediate faculty of reflection.
Yeah, okay, look at this, the next one, we have a break. The question is that, right, on the, which page again? Because I've been the page 1, 2, 3, 4. On the page 4, the last line, okay? You ask the question, is this sensation bodily, is it mental, right? It means the equanimity, okay? It will talk about it, we're talking about faculty of equanimity. They say, is this sensation bodily or is it mental? The equanimity, whether you can understand as a sensation, as a bodily sensation or the mental sensation, okay? So, the answer is the next page, right?
Yeah.
Whether it is bodily or mental, the intermediate sensation is sensation of equanimity. Sensation equanimity is thus both. That means either physical or mental. Nevertheless, it constitutes only one faculty because there is no conceptualizing activity here. Okay.
How could you not conceptualize sensation?
The conceptualize here, the word vikarpa, I have to think about this. This is not a perception. Okay? the conceptualize here, the English translation. But look at the Sanskrit word. The word actually is a big word for Yogacara school later on, the Ichi school. The Vikalpa, the word Vikalpa, refer to when in the past, or either in the long past or in the distant past, so somebody, because of craving, okay, and need to hold on something, and that something become a kind of, we don't say knowledge, because knowledge only refer to the good thing. We say that become a kind of tendency, or kind of the ground, the tendency, become a kind of tendency that will blind you to look at the thing as the way that it should be. Okay. So, but that's why you have a kind of here to translate conceptualize, but something you can translate as analyze, or you can translate as you have a kind of discerning or analyze the thing. So Vikalpa 分别 okay. Of course, later on in the 玄奘法师, because in order to translate the 分别, so they don't want to get confused with the analyze, because 分别means analyze, like vibhaja, okay? Or the thing is, so the better translation, so in Yogacara school, we 记住分别, okay? So usually in Abhidharma, because you must be able to discern what is good, what is bad, what it is, what is that. Okay? This is called what I mean by discern, the word in Chinese. But the word Vikalpa, okay, if in Chinese people look at Chinese, they certainly know it has to be understood as a 嫉妒分别. Okay? 还是啊，你要不要坐这边来？因为有时候这个 okay. So you understand now? So this is what I mean by conceptualized. But I explain a little easier way. So, of course, why you have this kind of conceptualized is certainly has to do with your tendency, that you have grown because of due to the craving, and then you grow, you hold on it, and that's why it's mingled to you. Understand that now? So if you want to say that in equanimity, this kind of the conceptualized will be moved forward.
So it's affected basically based on your experience and your desire to have that again. So the attachment to it. Is that what you said? I'm just because that's the only way you conceptualize or analyze it, because it's based on what you experience. It's like drinking the Coca-Cola, the sound, the five senses. This, the little thing, and so, it's you experience it based on. I'm going to say something, Michael. You're itching to say something, but it's based on that experience. So it's based on the sensation and not the. Maybe I lost it.
You want to say something?
I want to ask a question based on your comments. It sounds as though equanimity can be looked at different levels in different ways, and in this particular way, equanimity stands above or beyond duality, but at the same time, it can see duality, it can perceive the duality, that is to say, the good and the bad, the I like, I don't like, but not be part of it. It's like being above it and yet being in it, because there's also a level of equanimity wherein there is no duality at all.
No.
You're talking about the meditation state here.
Yeah, no, not in meditation stage.
Just in
But
general.
of course, no, I'm talking in meditation stage.
So that's
Because
the
depending
We're
on
talking about
meditation.
the equanimity meditation where you have really no sensations.
So that's the fourth jhana.
There's no
No, it's not only for jhana.
there's no conceptualization.
Not only in for jhana, but you can be in the bojjhanga, I say factor enlightenment. It can be also people with the
Brahma-viharas.
Brahma-vihara in that. No, it's not only that. Maybe easier to say this. I think the example is like that. You talk about Coca-Cola. Say, when I was 5 years old, I drank the Coca-Cola and I love Coca-Cola, right? So that's why now I must be able to aware there's a Coca-Cola here, right? That's the way I'm going to talk in the next topic. The next topic. The aware is my perception, sanya. That means 想律 in Chinese. Okay. So I have able to recognize this is Coca-Cola. But then I will grasp, I will take the Coca-Cola. Why? Because due to my past craving, right? And then I will be able to discern this is as a Coca-Cola. In other words, it's not about Coca-Cola. It is like why I will grasp this Coca-Cola I wanted to drink because I want the taste, right? That with my tongue. And the taste, say the Coca-Cola is sweet. I don't know. It's many complicated. Say it's sweet. Just say it for the sake of easier to talk. The sweetness is there. The kind of sweetness is there. So now imagine if I, as a normal person, if I drink because it looks like Coca-Cola in the Coca-Cola can, when you drink it, it's not, say, maybe some people make a joke, what, okay? So this what I want to mean first you know the discern, right? Now, that's the thing it is. When in the equanimity, that's when they say this vikarma is not here. What does it mean? It means I know this is Coca-Cola, right? But I still want to get the Coca-Cola. Let's say I have a vikarma, I'm equanimity, and then I want to grab the Coca-Cola. Actually, this time when the vikarma is not there, mean I still know it's a Coca-Cola because knowing Coca-Cola is a sanya, is the perception. Okay. But I don't take it because I feel pleasure feelings. Right? When you take Coca-Cola, you know, you don't have a pleasure feelings, you have practiced your equanimity, so you just have to take it. If you know it's Coca-Cola, so almost like you have no any expectation, no craving, and you don't think about sweetness. Because if you think about that taste of Coca-Cola, you will not be in equanimity, and you are still in vikarma.
And pleasure,
So,
lust.
I thought it was the opposite.
why are we taking this Coca-Cola? Why are we grasping, why are we taking it? Because we're thirsty? Or
For
something?
many reasons, maybe
Because you have two choices, one is bottled water, one is Coca-Cola.
Well, I think maybe the important thing is the difference between taking the Coca-Cola and grabbing the Coca-Cola.
no. I want to say give example first.
Okay.
This is I talk Coca-Cola. Say that we don't have Coca-Cola here. I don't know. Let me think whether you need to drink Coca-Cola if you are in equanimity.
Oh, it's
It doesn't matter.
because you still have to eat, but it's not deriving
Doesn't matter.
pleasure from it. It's knowing that
Right.
I enjoy this rice.
Rice,
I love rice. I enjoy this rice, but I am just going to eat it for sustenance. I'm not going to go, this is really good rice, or cook it.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to eat it as something, you know, to
It's not-
sustain me.
enjoy.
Right, and there's no enjoyment in it. It's just acknowledging that it's something that you have to ingest in order to, you know.
Okay. Anyway, everyone get my sense.
Yes.
Get a sense now. You get a sense. But that's a good question. Do we pick up the Coca-Cola?
Well, let's forget Coca-Cola, the rice.
No, you do.
is there.
You
The rice is
do.
good.
I
You
think you
do.
do.
It's not deriving
I
pleasure.
do
what was-
because if you know if you have thirsty, and then you motivate that you want to drink something, but you don't drink for luxury reason. And if there's only Coca-Cola there, you don't think, oh, this is bad for my body. Certainly you don't think that.
No.
Because if you think that, that is you have to
So you
regard
have it now.
Attachment,
Yeah,
view
you don't.
judgment.
You're just
Same point, other side.
so it's a very simple.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, this is my presumption. I think so. You do. You will pick it up. Yeah. Otherwise, you have a psychiatry. Means, of course, I mean, in a strong sense, mean you are psychiatry means you are attached to your body. But then, what about if there's poison?
Yeah, you protect your body. I think it's poisonous. I'm not gonna drink it.
That's a virgin.
No, you have to protect. You have to protect your body. It's not about aversion, it's protection, like wholesome and unwholesome. There's wholesome food and unwholesome food. Protection for yourself and other people. It's poisonous. No, it's nothing to do with poison. It's not meant for human consumption. It's not aversion.
Yeah, no selfness. Okay.
You protect
We have only 10 minutes, so we need to finish something. Shall we? We're not going to rush now. So we just go and eat something. Okay. Actually, I think the books I can leave it to you to read it, but I think next time we will go to generalize again. Okay. So we come to the page called perception, right? Because this is what we have to talk. Actually, we have to talk many things about this, but I think it's too much at the moment. So jump now to the next one about perception. So because here we translate the category of ideation, page 8 right? On the paragraph 3 and 3.1, and then the 3.2. Okay. When you look at I presume everybody has read this already. When you read this one, so what does it mean by the Shamya? Okay, in Chinese called 想喻 or 想. Okay, what does it mean by the ideation or the name or what we call perception? Okay. So anyway, generally mean the perception refer to you perceive something like the color. That's in the sutta. That's how they define it. Also. But I guess, but when your perception become very skillful with your meditation even, and then you also aware of your perception, like you might be percept that thing or this thing and what it is. The shape, for example, first the color, the second with the shape, and then with the shape also, then you'll be able to identify, for example, that's a woman, that's a man, and so on. Okay. That's what I mean by the sanya, I mean the perception. At first, like a just newborn baby, I'm sure everybody know. The newborn baby just doesn't know the shape. They don't understand the shape. They only understand the color. Even though they don't know the name, they do know there's a difference between the color. Right?
They do know the sound, right?
Huh? Sound is more sound.
Sound, like voices.
They can hear the voice,
hear,
but
yeah.
It's the same thing. They only hear a very simple voice and then just stop it, right? So the same thing for the taste, the same thing for the smell, the same thing for the body contact.
They're born with recognizing the mother's voice.
Yeah. Anyway, what I think that's we must understand when we say the perception. So like you say, we have to understand the perception as the visible perception, the perception of the sound, perception of the smell, the odors, perception of the taste, and perception of the technical object, and then even perception of the mental phenomenon. Okay. So when you say the perception, people might be generally think that with perception like the eyes, what you see. No, so you have to think about in Buddhist meditation that perception including, let's say, sound, and boom, ding, ding, okay, So that is still perception. But at first maybe you just know there's a sound, okay. Say that if in meditation we talk about the same thing. If you only just know the pleasure, what it is. It's a perception of what? No.
Say that again. What did you say?
If you just if you just feel there's a movement on the ears.
That's contact.
The body.
Yeah, you can say contact, but the contact,
Then it has to be vitaka vichara in order to kind of to complete the perception.
The perception always have to go with
vitaka vichara.
Yeah, according to the So, and that's another thing we were going to say is that perception usually we talk perception that has to do with that vichara, and this is in the next thing. So I want to say that you have to understand something. Whenever you're aware something first, and then just simple the things like moving or hearing or taste something immediately, that is still called perception. Okay? I can guess maybe that's a simple one. But now the difference is that actually when you look at the Pali text, almost all as far as I check it, okay, as far as I remember, when you check at the Pali text in the sutta, so whenever they talk about a perception, they always refer to just a perception of the color and perception of a simple thing. But in the Chinese text, when I say Chinese, is translated from other language in very old day. Some definitely date back to the 4th century, 3rd century. Even actually some dated back to the 2nd century, 120 something. The beginning of the Jesus, I think there's something like that. So actually the text, in your Chinese, sometimes when you say the perception, it includes that the small perception and the big perception. Okay, so that you will see that here in our text. Okay, in the text it says they have this more ideation. You translate it, Balita, and then when it has a big dhamma like the monster matter. Okay, and as an object is called the big ideation, Mahasamya. Okay, so when it has the element of infinite space called Ada Sanya Ayatana perception. So, or you have this immeasurable mind, you call Abramana Samya. Okay. So in other words, mean the perception, especially in Chinese, or this because since Sarvastivada school, Abhidharma, of course, almost similar, based on similar to the Chinese Agama text than the Pali. If you look at traditional version of them, so it's always when you understand the perception, you also have to understand there's more idea. And then the big idea sometimes refer to mean like people have a better mind, okay? And then all the people in different jhana or different mental state, they have a different idea. And even of course in Mahayana later they include some other thing, or like Yogacara school they include some more. Okay? So that's what the perception. Now, and but however, we must also understand when we talk about perception. So sometimes the perception can be understood in so many ways, okay? Like the last page. So the last page basically say, it is due to when we have eyes and objects, and then we have the eye consciousness. When these three things comes together, so we have the feelings, okay? When the feelings arise, when the feelings, then there's a perception, okay? Get it now? No, the last page, the last one. But that's only in the Pali, okay. So when there's a feelings, when it feels, and then perceiving comes, that only in only in Pali. So yeah. So and then you started to basically you started to whatever you basically whatever you perceive, you see, okay, and you start to know. And you start to understand it, then you start to have many thoughts. And of course, this is a big subject. In general, it means you have many thoughts. Okay. Now, actually, I guess what I want to say is make it much easier. It's like why in meditation, say that back to a practice. Why we have to talk perception? Perception is not karma, right? Perception is not karma. When I say not karma, I mean it doesn't produce good karma or bad karma. Perception means just perceive something, that's it. So just perceive something. So like, I hear sound. So you will not have, if you just know that you know the sound, and you see, and you taste, then you will not have further, you will not have identification. I don't know how to translate it. You will not have, with that kind of vichara, means you will not know it, and then you start to think, oh, somebody talking. You don't have it. You just know sound. Or if you know pushing, you just know pushing. If you know taste, you just know taste. There's a sweet. You're aware the feeling and you're sweet, but you don't think what kind of sweet. What sweet, So then your mind will not running again. Called papanja. But of course, papanja, the word in Chinese, you over translate as a si run. Okay. Especially if you study the Zhongrun, it's a big subject. But here, yeah, our propensity, something we translate.
Proliferation.
Proliferation also. So in other words, your mind keep on running, okay? So, but then perception actually is before that. Okay? So,
It's pure perception.
right. And then the last one I want to say in the last book, the other notes, if you read Chinese, read it. If you don't, just read the English. The last one actually is actually I put the Chinese because they do have the Pali, but because they're different, that's why I put it here. Because they're different. And the last one is just, we must also understand, sometimes even we talk perception as almost like, something that stop there, but do not think all the time the word will apply the same way. Because when we talk about the 5 aggregates, certainly perception is what we just mentioned. However, sometimes the word can loosely used as a kind, you must be able to perceive the thing as what way. For example, the last one, the Buddha suggested a monk called Girimandana. He asked Ananda to go to tell him. He had to perceive the thing as impermanence, as selflessness, as impureness, as danger, as abandoning, as dispassion, or I forgot the strong word. Anyway, dispassion, as cessation, as disenchantment with the entire world. That means Sapologe, Anat, Abhirata, Sanya, and then recognition of the impermanence in reference to all the compound things. So that's 10 things you have to practice. Actually, those are 10 things are the most basic, I would say, basic. Without this kind of sanya, perception, and then I don't think you can enter even the first fruit. Okay. First step.
Is it because he's dying, he's about to die, is to recite this, or just to remind the monk?
No, because he was negligent. Yeah. He was. I remember the Giri Mandala. He was not. He was not practiced well like that. And he's actually close relation to the Buddha. And so in here the word for perception we translate as a recognition. So because translation, we understand it. So have under that connotation. So I guess this class are a little bit rushed, but at least there's something. What do you get? I don't know. But at least we finish the perception now, okay? And but if you want to have a deep study, please read the literature.
Like last time. Just perceive the stuff. You don't want to learn too much, right?
Some of
You have to perceive the material. Not thinking about it. I'm not going to learn too much, right? Just perceive.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, don't think these notes just few pages. It took me whole day. You might think it's very simple. It took me a whole day to do that.
We took us a whole year. You take us a whole year.
Right. Yeah, sure, but what? Some of it. My tongue is not. Yeah. And I was thinking. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for your patience anyway. So, if you want the Sanskrit, I did. So next time I don't have to do this one. I just do quick, I don't do my okay. So shall we do the transfer? Thanks for the online today rush. Thank you for your attention in class.
Your transcript is very good. They should be edited well. Get what you want to get, they eventually attend it.
Sadhu.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So we have 30 minutes left. So that's why you can receive the well in 20 minutes. Right. Absolutely. Without the counter.